missed the first game.
What's up? What a great birthday gift for you.
It was.
Yesterday was Coach's
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And what a wonderful gift for you, Coach.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Coach. Nick was happy. Happy birthday.
The whole end of the day.
Sure you did.
It was really
Guess what, Coach? So did we.
Yeah.
So,
I thought Nick would be getting a tattoo today.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I was going to have to get a Derrick
yep, that
Henry's
was going to
tattoo.
happen.
Ooh.
And that was a
You
free
hadn't been a little
Coach risked
nervous.
nothing.
But then Derrick Henry didn't show up, so.
Well, when they were down 10-0, I was Googling tattoos.
All right, so here's how it all went down. Chiefs hosted Tennessee, AFC title game yesterday. Patrick Mahomes, boy, he just continued to show why he may be the best player in the world right now. Mahomes leading the team with 53 yards rushing and a touchdown to go along with his nearly 300 passing yards and another 3 touchdowns through the air. Chiefs win 35-24. They advance to their first Super Bowl in 50 years. Nick Wright, what was the key to the Chiefs' win yesterday?
Well, once again, they find themselves in a double-digit deficit in a playoff game, which, for the vast majority of teams, is panic mode. The Chiefs panicked a bit last week when they found themselves down 14-0. That's why Andy Reid took out their Pro Bowl kick returner, punt returner, put in McCole Hardman, or took him out, put in Tyreek, only have Tyreek muff a punt, and now all of a sudden it's 21-0. I think because of that experience and the way they were able to overcome it, they stayed calm, they stayed within the game plan, and the game plan is not that complex. Let the best player in the world be the best player in the world and see if the other team can stop him. And they couldn't. And the turning point was obviously, and I'm not saying anything unique here, that run we showed. It's not only that Kansas City got the lead going into halftime after being thoroughly outplayed the first quarter of the game, it's that, to me, it scared the Titans out of their game plan. After that moment, Derrick Henry had 7 yards. This is a 4-point game. Titans had the ball again when it was still a 4-point game. Even when they were down 11, there was enough time left. You thought, okay, you're going to have at least 2 possessions. If you can, you being Tennessee, and I think they ended up with 3 more possessions, if you stick with your game plan and you believe you can get stops, then you can keep running it. But they knew they couldn't stop him. Because if you don't double guys, he's going to find the open guy. And if you do double guys, he's going to do that to you. So that was the key. Sports are very complex, but sometimes they're very simple. The team with the single best player very often wins, and that's how the Chiefs won yesterday.
It's interesting to watch this team because we talked about after last week that they couldn't spot another team. They couldn't spot Tennessee a lead, and then they go out and they spot Tennessee a lead, and it's frustrating to watch, as good as Patrick Mahomes has been, the other mistakes that come up that put the Chiefs in the situations that they're in, and whether it's the penalty on 3rd and 22, the fake punt, or jumping off sides, or all those things that Mahomes then is able to overcome, and it has been impressive, and I still don't understand why nobody can contain him and keep him in the pocket. We've been talking about this for
2 years.
2 years, how important that is, and again, he has that run that he has. It has been very impressive to watch, not just what he's done from an athletic ability and from a performance ability, but I do respect the character that he's shown in these difficult situations to bring the team back out.
Were you surprised, though, at the tight? I mean, there was some poor tackling, but to your point, how teams let him get outside. We talk about fundamentals of the game, especially coaches. They'll harp on it, hat placement, things like that. There were a couple times where I'm seeing the end either go way too high and he let him slip out that corner, or they would lose contained on him and just let him get to the outside a couple times. And you're thinking, well, how does this not happen? And yet maybe it was one player who was out of place, and then that split second is what allows them to buy that much more time. But clearly, with number 15 on the field, that's why they're allowed to do this. But did you see that?
It shocks me. It blows me away. It doesn't. Because I know Mike Vrabel talked about it. I know Dean Pease talked about it.
Yeah.
I coached Vrabel. I worked with Dean Pease. I worked with Romeo Crennel for years. He talked about it. I talked to Romeo about it. And it's one of those things where unless the guys are committed to it and understand it's that one time that you're going to just go under and try to make a play. And I mentioned this on Friday as well. In these big games, a lot of times guys try to make plays and they go outside of the scheme, and they do. But they make plays for the other team because players like this, can exploit that one moment where you decide to take that chance.
Even on the run, like the players at the end here trying to go for the strip as opposed to the tackle, that's got to be
with 11 seconds left. And I know the Chiefs had timeouts, but with 11 seconds left, you got 3 plays max. Maybe you hold them to a field goal if you just get them to the ground. But I want to give one other group credit. And that's what the Chiefs defense did do against Derrick Henry. We came into the game talking about whether or not he was the best player in the league, the run he was on. And by the way, after our show Friday, Frank Clark gave him, I always hear about this bulletin board material, gave him real, if such a thing is real, gave him real bulletin board material. Say he's not that hard to tackle, he's not that good to him, he's just a big guy, easy to get your arms around. And that right there, after the Titans forced a punt on the Chiefs' opening drive of the second half. They have the ball. Derrick Henry had a good first half. They have the ball with a chance to take the lead. The Chiefs commit back-to-back penalties, so it's now 1st and 5. He runs for 4 yards on first down. 2nd and 1, stoned. 3rd and 1, stoned again, stopped short. That's the play where there's a holding penalty called. I know the internet's abuzz with the guy threw his flag early. There was an illegal formation. That's what that flag was, and a holding penalty. And by the way, that right there is the last time he touched the football. They had to abandon it, or they chose to abandon it, and that put the game on Ryan Tannehill's shoulders, which was obviously not what the Titans were hoping to do.
And we all said, not just us, everyone was saying the Titans weren't going to get away from what brought them here. The Titans got here because Derrick Henry was running the ball. Even if they fell behind, we thought they were still going to continue to, and yet they sort of were able to change course and put the ball in Tannehill's hands more than I think we all thought. But if that was sort of helped by another slow start from the Chiefs, and we talk about how great Andy Reid is, I'm wondering why, for at least the first couple minutes of the game, the team once again, is that nerves? And when you look at a team like that, why is it that a team that's so seemingly buttoned up like the Chiefs come out slow again?
It's frustrating, and it feels a little bit like they build off the momentum of the offense. The defense builds off that momentum, and everybody's got to feel that to get going, and some of it could be underestimating your opponent. And you come in, you think, and just like the way that Nick speaks, sometimes that can affect the locker room, where there's a sense that, oh, of course we're going to win. And when you have Patrick Mahomes, it's, well, he'll take care of it. And I think Baltimore fell victim to that with Lamar Jackson, where guys came out slow, but the whole game they're saying, oh, don't worry about it. Lamar Jackson will handle the game. You know, he'll get this done. And it works, but it's low percentage. It's low percentage football, and at some point that luck is going to run out. And when you make those types of mistakes, it's going to be those mistakes that you look back 20 and 30 years from now and say, you know, I can't believe that was the difference in the game.
Well, meanwhile, it didn't affect them. They are going back to the Super Bowl. And what does it say about them that after the year they had as close as they came, now this is the position they're in?
Well, that's just quickly, Coach, you always say you don't pick up where you left off the previous year, and that teams have to know that. The one addendum I would put to that is, but if you have a superstar quarterback, you do pick up with the expectation of, we've got to be back there. We've got to be in at least the divisional round or past, because it's what Peyton's expectations, Brady's, Rodgers until recently, always. And the fact that the Chiefs didn't let that crush them, and that even when they went through some real adversity, losing back-to-back games, having their quarterback go down, found themselves back in this position, to me it's an amazing testament to the coaching and the overall maturity of a relatively young team.
Well, Andy's been in the playoffs how many years since he's been there? Is it 6 out of 7?
And I think he's won his 4th straight division title. Yeah,
it's a pretty incredible run that he's had, and he obviously does a good job of recalibrating each offseason, getting these guys focused on, you know, the task ahead.
All right, Chiefs now move on to play the 49ers. We'll talk about how